might have been more like 4 or 5 years ago. But the guy actually found him and took him to South Africa, and there were like 10,000 people waiting for him at the airport. Yeah. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest stories ever. It really is.
What a mind-bending moment that has to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he played Newport, and he must have played around here. His name is Sixto Rodriguez. Man, oh man, you don't get any dirtier than that. That is John Lee Hooker, and we heard new music by J.D. McPherson before that. Actually, not new music. He has new music coming very, very soon. That one called Firebug, from his debut, Signs and Signifiers. Greg Klyma is live in studio, so I'm going to turn my mic off and turn yours on. Take it away, sir.
The world turned, and they found ways to make anew the old mistakes. She came to him, but he didn't want her offering. So she got high and listened to Christopherson. She'd helped him through so many nights. She missed his touch, but not the fights. He's a hard man. Don't know why she thought she could soften him. But he knows why she listens to Christopherson. He knows she's got nothing left to lose, and he won't give her nothing but the blues. Yesterday is dead and gone. Memories fade, but songs play on. She came on strong. Chili's off again. Just needs time to listen to Christopherson. He knows she's got nothing left to lose, 'cause he won't give her nothing but the blues. Yesterday is dead and gone. Memories fade, but just needs time to listen to Christopherson. Just give her time.
Bravo, sir.
Thank you.
Klyma live in studio here at WUMB. That is the third track on the CD, and that would be the third track on the first side of the album as
Of
well.
the vinyl.
What's that?
Of the vinyl.
The
Oh.
vinyl, the vinyl. The
Some
one-
guys my age, they have what you call a midlife crisis, Albert. They date an 18-year-old. They buy a Corvette. I did my midlife crisis on a budget. I made a vinyl record. And I have a feeling I won't regret it later.
No, you won't. Not at all. You'll never regret it.
Oh, man.
Because add another 20 years on, you're still going to be listening to it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Broad question first, okay?
Okay.
The impetus behind the new album, was it just a collection of songs? You had a number of songs that you wanted to get out. Was there a broader angle or approach to things?
It's probably the most accidental album I've ever made in my life.
I like that.
Previously, on an episode of Greg Klyma, there would be the I'm going to go and I'm going to make an album, and here are the 16 songs I want to record. We'll pare this down to 10 or 12 when we're all done. We'll see how things fit together.
Yeah.
This album started because I had an opportunity to work with a friend and hero, if you will. Peter Case was in town
Sure.
in September of 2015, and a childhood friend of his, who's a longtime friend of mine, Jim Whitford, was in town playing bass with me on a few gigs. Jim had a band called the Pine Dogs in the 90s, and I loved them. I'd go to Nietzsche's every time they played. I'd see the Pine Dogs.
Is this upstate New York?
This is Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
And Whitford,
That's upstate.
that is upstate, yeah. That is way over there on the western side of the state.
Did you know any Gates out there?
I don't know that I did.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jim Whitford knew both Peter Case and Gurf Morlitz growing up. They were all in bands together as kids, and I got to meet Gurf.
So with Peter
through-
Case, it was way before the Plimsolls and the Nerves even?
before all of that.
Wow.
This is Hamburg, New York in the late 60s. So yeah, I got to meet those guys through knowing my buddy Jim,
Mm-hmm.
and I had Jim in town, not completely without knowledge that Peter would be in town also.
I see.
And I was like, hey Peter, Jim and I are going into the studio tomorrow to record some stuff. You know, do you think it could work out? And it did. Peter was just really gracious about it. And man alive, the most natural musician I've ever met in my life. The guy can play anything,
Yeah.
and he can play it great.
He comes in here, and he hasn't been in for about 2 or 3 years, but it's all we can do to get him out of here.
Oh, he's a fine storyteller, a brilliant songwriter, and just give him a guitar, a harmonica, and in the case of my album, a Hammond B3 organ and a Fender Rhodes.
Nice.
And he just is brilliant on all these instruments.
Did I see Bill Kirchen is also on this album?
Bill Kirchen played guitar on 2 tracks.
Wow. And who was the other one? Jonathan Bird.
Jonathan Bird. Jonathan Bird is on here. He's an old friend.
Uh-huh.
We go back to 2002, I believe. And I'll send him stuff when I'm working on it. I'll be like, hey, check out these songs. I've got some stuff recorded. I got some stuff that I'm hoping to record. What do you think of this song? Blah, blah, blah. All of that. And I sent Jonathan a recording of where the song Never Knew Caroline was.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me back a recording of it with him singing harmony on it. And he goes, you know, how do you feel about this? Is this good? Is this something you would, you know,
Mm-hmm.
does this work for you?
So it was almost like he was acting like a producer of sorts.
In a way he was.
Yeah.
And a good friend at all times.
And not afraid to tell you what he really thought.
That's
or
why
the truth.
That's why I ask for his opinion. I do my songwriting that way a lot of times too. There's a song that ends this album called My Old Guitar, and
That I hope you're going to play.
I could do that.
Okay.
When I wrote the song, I thought that I'd written something that was pretty good, and I don't remember right now all the different things it went through, but I wrote it and I shared it with Ryan Fitzsimmons,
Uh-huh.
Susan Catania, and
Okay.
Lisa Bastoni.
Okay.
They frequently get emails from me with here's a demo, what do you think of this?
Uh-huh.
And they'll send something back that says, that's nice, you could do better,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I really liked this idea of my old guitar. I'd never written this kind of song. I give myself arbitrary rules. I'm not going to write songs that start with the word I. I did that for like 2 years. I just would not write a
Right.
song that started with the word I. I never gave myself permission to write songs about being on the road. Good Lord. Or
And
my guitar.
You know what?
Like everybody writes these songs, I'm just going to stay away. Like some people write a lot about the rain. Great. I'm like, I'm just not going to write about the road or my guitar.
Can I bring up one? There's so many Americana bands out there who, always sing about the whiskey and the... You know what I'm saying?
I know that band.
But
I think I want to be in that band, actually. But anyway.
I to be honest, and I've only listened to the CD twice, the song you're alluding to is my favorite song on the album. Because I think it's the most personal, it's the most heartfelt, and it just seems like, here I am, sitting here in my room late at night, and I'm going to write a song about writing a song, essentially, and it worked.
It took about 2 months before it got to that spot.
Really?
Yeah.
And why did you put it last? Just because of its approach, maybe? Because most people put the very last song on a CD or an album is generally maybe a throwaway.
Well, I don't know how this is going to sound when I say it out loud, but I didn't think any of the songs were throwaways.
Right.
I didn't think that about any of them, and I like I said earlier.
Well, I wasn't implying it was a throwaway.
Oh
You
no,
said- you know what
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
take it that way at all.
Yeah.
I just meant from my own point of view. I've gone in to make albums before where it was very definitely, here are the 16 songs that we're going to record over the next 2 days, over
Yeah.
the next 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever. I had an opportunity to record a couple of songs with Peter Case.
Yeah.
So I recorded Christofferson and All the Other Bridges and one other song with him that didn't make it onto the album. But I recorded 2 songs that did end up on the album with Peter, and then months went by.
Mm.
And I thought, well, that happened once before, maybe it could happen again. And when
Mhm.
Peter came back through the following March, it didn't work out in his schedule to get back in the studio. But I'd booked the time just in case. So my friend Paul Chase on the bass, and Andy Santaspago, who's a big player on this album,
Right.
and a fantastic drummer, world-class, Michael Levesque. These 3 guys, and
He's been around forever.
he's
that
so good. He brought so much to the album. I got together with them in the studio, and we recorded Sand and The Bastard Son
Uh-huh.
and Down in the Mouth, I think.
Yeah.
Which would later, Gerf Morlix would add guitar to Down in the Mouth. Later on, Ryan Fitzsimmons would add a part to The Bastard Son. I had a guy named Steve Smith from Dirty Vegas add percussion to some of these songs. But there it was, I think maybe 7 months later, I was recording 3 more songs. Then I was going through Texas, and I had the opportunity in Austin to work with Gerf Morlix on bass and Bill Kirch on guitar. So I recorded 3 more songs, 2 of which made it onto the album. But you see how this is happening? Like,
Yeah.
I was just like waiting for the good ones or the good recording opportunities to happen. And then I wrote Never Knew Caroline and My Old Guitar within weeks of one another. And I just spent the next 2 months working on them, editing, making it as good a song as it could be.
Well, it's also the beauty of the album is, even though there are various approaches, there are almost acoustic songs, there are full band songs, and as you said, different recording studios. It doesn't sound it. It doesn't sound it at all.
That's wonderful to know. I would give a lot of props to Dave Westner, who mixed it
Sure.
for that. He brought himself to it, and I think tied it all together really well.
So why don't we do it?
My Old Guitar?
Yeah, why don't we do it? It's Greg Klyma live in the studio at WUMB.
My old guitar and me, moonlit songs and memories. After all this time, so many near miss rhymes. Where do we find my old guitar and me? Thought we'd go farther, whatever that means. There's so many ways to chase those stars. Days on the road, nights in the bars where we got played. We can show you the scars. We've been together so long, we're family now. We know our song when it plays. See the world in different ways. I was holding you when she caught my eye, and I turned to you when she said goodbye. So on a night like this, when there's no lover's kiss, let's reminisce. We've been together so long, we're family now. We know our song when it plays, and see this world in different ways. My old guitar and me. We might have made things harder than they had to be. Still work on the songs to get them tight. Might even try this one tonight, if it's feeling right. And it always feels right. My old guitar.
Greg Klyma live in studio at his most intimate. Last song on the CD, last song on the second side, My Old Guitar. Can I ask you about, from the new one, that's been out for what, a month or so?
Doing the official release show this Sunday at
Oh, okay.
Thunder Road.
Okay.
But advanced copies have been out there for all the people that pledged to make it possible. Thank you for your support, friends. Much appreciated.
Have you done that in the past?
I did it one other time.
Yeah, are you comfortable with that?
Not one bit.
I
Not one bit.
ask everybody.
If I could get somebody more popular than me to record one of my songs so that I got a check in the mail that had maybe a comma or two in it, so that I had a budget to record, that would be wonderful. In the meantime, it is a means to an end.
I was going to suggest maybe you could find a country star to do Ex-Girlfriends Cost Less Money Than Ex-Wives.
Does anybody have like,
You know?
what, Keith Urban or
Because
any of their phone numbers? I'll call them.
Half of the popular country music songs these days are all about the title. And I understand
That song was written with that kind of approach in mind.
The copyright is 2008. Do you have a past life that we don't know about?
I was living in Austin, Texas for a little while, and I
Okay.
had a girlfriend there, and I miss her a lot. She was a wonderful person, probably still is, and I hope she's doing well. We were not working out. And at the same time that was going on in my life, a friend had emailed me about how he got served divorce papers.
Oh.
And how he was probably going to have visiting rights to his children, but
Sure.
not have them,
Right.
and et cetera, et cetera. He was laying it all on the line. And I just had this whimsical thought about that while driving from Texas to Georgia, and I sang it out loud. Ex-girlfriends cost less money than ex-wives.
There you go.
And there you go. 3.5 minutes of love.
So you said you're doing a CD release this Saturday at Thunder Road.
This Sunday at Thunder Road. Americana Sunday, August 13th.
And after that?
After that, maybe go on the road in support of it in October. I got some dates coming up in the Midwest.
Cool. That's a good time to tour the Midwest before the storms hit.
Yeah. I recently was displaced. It's the classic, there's no rent control in the state of Massachusetts, and Somerville's World War II alderman has not had an opponent in 16 years, and my landlady decided not to renew my lease, and she's going to jack the rent 33%, and somebody's going to pay it, but not me.
Yeah.
And so I've had a friend take me in, and I've got other friends with my stuff in their basement, and I don't know. I might do even more touring. Were it not for the Americana Sundays, the folks at Thunder Road have been so good to me. The people that come out on a weekly basis for the show are so loving. I don't know how to balance what I need to do for myself with my feeling that I need to serve my community.
Now, I haven't been there. Is
True
that the
story.
place that used to be radio?
It was for a time. It was radio for about 2 short-lived years.
Radio was a good dive.
Yeah. They've changed the room around a little bit, and
So
I
I
think
gather.
in many good ways. Friendly staff, good food. I love it there.
And did
They
you
take care of me.
realize that Saturday we're replaying your guest mix?
I had heard that might happen, but I didn't know that
Yes.
it was officially. Bravo.
So we're tying everything together.
Yay.
We're tying everything
That was a
together.
really good time.
Yeah.
Dave Palmatier, if you're out there, I love you, man.
What are we forgetting?
Let's see, we've talked about the album release. We've
Yeah.
let people know that it's available on vinyl and CD. Did
Yeah.
I mention that Susan Catania is
No.
going to be opening the show? It's
No.
a 7 o'clock door.
Okay.
It's a humane hour. We hit at 7:30. Susan
Right.
Catania, who has a new album called The Hammer and the Heart.
It's a double CD.
Double, yeah. Also featuring Bill Kirchen.
Yeah.
Susan's going to open the show, and then she'll sing harmony with me. I'll be supported by Andy Santisfago, Frank Drake, and Dave Andrew Moore. And it's also a farewell party for our friend Suze Utah. Suze reviews the blues. We're losing a friend to Florida.
Probably cheaper rent.
Maybe so. Maybe even more stability in the renting scenario, too.
So we're going to finish off with a song from the CD. Tell me about this song.
All the Other Bridges was inspired by listening to WUMB radio. There are so many versions.
You say that to all the radio stations.
I don't, and I couldn't possibly. There are so many versions of a song about running to the city of refuge, and I know Tim Gearon has a derivative song of it, and I've heard Abigail Washburn on this radio station singing it, and somebody's version of that was playing on the radio one day, and I was like, I'm going to write a song that makes reference to City of Refuge. So I started singing that in my room, and then 6 verses later, you got the song All the Other Bridges. The thing that makes it unique and special to me on the recording is, oh my God, yay. I mentioned Jim Whitford before. He plays bass on it.
Mm-hmm.
His childhood friend, Mark Winzik, plays a chimey rhythm guitar on it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that Mark Winzik met on the bus going to kindergarten all those years ago, Peter Case, plays Hammond B3 on it, and their buddy Gerf Morlix plays a guitar. I got these 4 grown men who were punk kids in Hamburg, New York on the same track, and it's hot, man. They
Okay.
tear it up.
Greg, thank you, and you know the door is always open, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Big smile.
Listen to that guitar. So good. Thank you, Perry.